Hello,
Yo,
hello,
Caleb.
hello, and welcome to episode 136 of the New Year Super Weapon Podcast, the most overpowered podcast on the internet. It's your boy Darius the Artist, and as always, I got my co-host DC here with me today.
Yeah, buddy, what up, though? Wait, I gotta throw it out there. I'm coming in hot. I'm coming in hot for 2023. All
Oh,
right.
okay, I
This
like
Sunday,
it.
this Sunday, if y'all don't, y'all, if you're just listening to the audio, I am in my full Lions get up
I
over here,
love it,
okay?
man. I love
I'm
it.
in my full Lions get up over here. We got the hoodie with the matching hat. I'm a little hot, pit's a little flaming because I had the heat on, but I got to represent for my team because tomorrow is their Super Bowl. We play the Green Bay Packers, who is 8-8, and we're 8-8, and we are still fighting for a spot.
Gotta represent, man. I'm proud of the Lions, man.
We're
They
still fighting for a
definitely they've made a name for themselves this year. Like I said, I think you guys are gonna go much farther, man. I just need the Rams to not take a dive this weekend. And the Lions will be
yes,
in that
sir.
dance, man. That's awesome though,
Man,
man.
they're gonna tear the city up. Them boys getting the playoffs, so we gonna be too hyped. Man, I just want to
Man,
say real
you
quick.
gotta get to a game, man. If they go, you got to, man.
Oh, I already got a special little account for it's called Lions Super Bowl. It's already there.
I
It's
love
been
it.
there for years. And you know what? The fact that they haven't been so good, the funds just keep growing and growing
I
and
love
growing.
that, man. That means you'll have a really nice time when they go, because they're definitely gonna. I think they got the right, Hey, man, shout out to Dan Campbell. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, Dan Campbell, if you're listening, we're going to have you on the show, buddy. I know you play games. You can't be that turned up and not play games. Like, that dude is too turned
Yeah,
up.
that'd be
But
really cool. That'd be cool.
you know, we're not a sports cast. So we're just gonna jump into it. Actually, no, man. Hold on. Let's not
Nah,
jump into it so quick. We've been gone for a minute, man.
took
How
a
you
nice.
been, man? How was your New Year's? Let's go.
Oh
Let's talk
man,
about some New
yeah.
Year's.
Definitely took a nice break, man. It was a really really nice New Year's for me to kind of just unplug from everything.
Hmm.
It was second New Year's without my mom. Second holiday, second Christmas, and all that good stuff. So a little bit more somber for me.
Right,
But
right, right, right.
I did enjoy just kind of because I've taken a big step back from making content and stuff towards the end of the year, and I just kind of wanted to reset, and I really felt like I had a chance to do that. Been playing some games uh, offline, not making content on games. It's fun again. I really felt like I was getting burnt out on just trying to chase content cycles and content hype, but I feel like I've taken a really good time to a really good chance to just remove the FOMO out of my head, and us continue to just have fun here on the Super Weapon podcast. And I definitely missed it, man. I'm happy to be back because we've talked a lot about this year and how big this year is going to be for games. And as you guys see us dive into like some predictions we're going to be making, you'll kind of start to see how huge the year is really kind of shaping up. Just even in the first half too. We haven't even nobody knows what's happening in the back half, but yeah, man, I've been good, man. I've been playing a little Death's
We.
Door.
Oh, okay, okay.
I started over Metro Exodus on the Xbox One, so I haven't been playing any PC games really. Just like I told you before the podcast, I'm pretty much over my Madden addiction, my franchise mode affliction. About 2.5 weeks
Yeah,
clean.
man. It's
Just
been a
wanted
minute.
to.
We couldn't get Darius to play a sports game. Now we know why.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah. Yo, what's going on, BZ? Thank you for being here, man. What's up? What's up? But yeah, man. How about you, man? How was your break? What'd you do, man? Did you play? I know you've been playing a few games, but I'm curious to hear.
Oh man, I'm on a Need for Speed crack right now. I can't stop playing Need for Speed. I just want to shout out to the man in chat named BZ and him and my nephew because I wasn't going to play it
Yeah,
ever because I kind of thought I didn't. The shading, the art style kind of threw me off a little bit,
gotcha.
but I saw BZ and them playing it, and I was just like, "Yo, this is pretty interesting." You know what I'm saying? It looks pretty cool. Then over the holidays, I went and hung out with my nephew who was playing it,
Oh man, that's cool.
and I was sold. But then what really sold me was the price too, because it was half off. So, that helped. And I was just like, you know what, $30, 30 smacks, why not? So I
That's
tried
not
it
bad.
out, and any game that got cars in it, I have to get every freaking car. I have to do all the. I get too involved, and then I bought freaking F1 Manager, the F1 Formula Racing Manager, where you're
Oh, so
like,
you've been really living that gearhead life, man. I love
I've
that.
just
That's
been
awesome.
ODing in my Fast and Furious lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And let me see, what else did I do? Hmm. What else did I do? I mean, I just spent time with like my brother and
Really
my
spend
niece and
some family
nephew.
time, and
Yeah,
yeah,
just
that's awesome.
we worked hard, man. So
Yeah,
that was like it's been a while since we've actually just
taking time
enjoyed
away.
not doing anything. Like
Yeah,
I just really like I didn't go to the gym. I like my regular routine. I just cut it off. I was
yeah.
just like, no, I'm just not going to do anything. I read some books, just lazied around the house. I had off from both of my jobs at the same time, which is crazy.
Oh, that's even better,
So
man. Yeah.
yeah, man, I just enjoyed myself. Enjoyed playing games without all the extra, you
Without
know.
trying to think of content to make around it,
Right,
and
right.
and I guess that is something to say that we've kind of lost as a gaming community. Well, I would say the hardcore gamers, because you always have those. You still have the casual audience, which, in my opinion, is always gonna like far exceed the hardcore, like the where we're at. We're in the nucleus of it, so we're
Mm-hmm.
always kind of looking at things and trying to figure out cool content to make. But yeah, it was nice to just kind of hit the pause button, man. I'm happy to be back. I know you're happy to be back. But yeah, man, let's just jump into it. I'm very excited about this episode. We typically for the last couple of years have done these predictions. Some of them might be based in fact or things we found, or sometimes it might just be throw a shot in the dark. I think we usually do a pretty good mix of it. But I'm excited to hear what your predictions are for this year, because as we've talked about, 2023 hitting this year, man. If everything, even if half the products or half the games even launched this year that are supposed to, this year's already looking, it's ready to burst at the seams. We're gonna be very busy, man. But yeah, man, if you wanna lead us off, man, I'm curious to hear what your first prediction is. Go ahead, you have the floor, good sir. I can't wait to.
Okay, so all right, we're gonna jump into it. First of all, I want to say for anyone who's playing Need for Speed Unbound,
Love it.
I just want to, first of all, shout out to ASAP Rocky. Congratulations on the baby, sir. But your monologue in this game at a certain point, I don't want to spoil it because I know Beezy's in the chat. I want to talk to Beezy when he gets to that point. It's hilarious. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this after the pod because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. Oh my god, but anyway, really back in. So predictions. All right, I'm gonna start off, and I know we talk about this certain series a lot here on Super Weapon, and it's because we grew up on this series, man.
Oh,
We grew up on this series. We hold it dear to our heart.
starting heavy. Okay,
But
okay.
is it time to move on? Is the question. Is it time to move on? And what I'm talking about is Halo, the series as a whole, right? Now, I know y'all thinking, what does this have to do with predictions? Well, my prediction is Halo is going to have a last stand moment this year.
You think so?
I think they're going to have a last blitz. Like they're going to put it all on the line, and if it don't go the way it should go, man, it might be the death of a dynasty here. Like it may, I don't see it recovering. Like I honestly I don't. And the last stand that I think that they're going to take is something that I've been fighting since the beginning of time, but they have to keep up with the times. I
Ooh.
think Halo is going to make a push for a BR.
Oh man, I was gonna ask you if that's what you were alluding to. I love that prediction. What? So let me ask you this, because we've talked about whether or not we've kind of talked about like the rumors that have been kind of surrounding it, if it's being developed right now. There's all this upheaval. I will say that we haven't really talked about last year. A lot of movement from like senior positions in 343.
Hmm.
So, those could have been people that were originally against the BR, but I'm kind of right there with you. I like this prediction. Do you think, let me ask you this, do you think it would be successful, or what would your ideal BR be for Halo that would kind of boost its presence back onto the internet, that player count we've talked about a little bit. What would you want to see in a Halo BR?
Okay, so this is the thing, right? If you're gonna jump into this BR space, you're gonna have to provide the world and Halo fans and everyone involved, right? You're gonna have to bring something to the table that is refreshing, new, some kind of concept that's not already present, which is a hard uphill battle. But I think the way that Halo plays,
Mm-hmm.
I think they can create their own unique corner in the BR market, and it's gonna be tough. But I feel like at this point with their player count, when your player count is matching like Battlefield right now, I think Battlefield may actually have a higher player count
Which is a
than Halo.
hilarious turn of events considering comments that they
Right,
made a few months
right,
ago.
right. Battlefield is back, man, and they put some work into it, and now their player count is going up. And I've been playing it, and it's actually not bad. It's pretty fun experience. But Halo is going to have to really put their big toe. Maybe they're going to have to put all their toes into this cake. All right, for this to be successful, they're going to have to. I don't honestly, to be honest with you, I don't even know what to tell you. Like what they can do to make this a successful BR, because a lot of people are really apprehensive about giving anything a try from Halo as we speak.
Yeah,
And even with the Forge mode, maybe they could introduce like the ability to create your own BR type situation. Or
that could be interesting if they introduce like the rule set that you could play with. That could actually be really interesting. I mean, you just had Apex announce that they're giving private matches to the community, so that's kind of like a less flexible way. Yeah, you can maybe host your own BR events, or yeah, maybe they just take the Fortnite approach and just make it one big sandbox you can play in. You can. I mean, that's what people do with Forge anyway. I mean, I just saw this morning. I meant to send it to you. A guy made a Matrix One hallway in the game
oh
with the
god,
scrolling code and everything on it, which is pretty nuts. So people are already kind of doing crazy things. So I could see it being some sort of party. And I hate saying this. I really do, but I kind of see Halo turning into like that party FPS. You
well, I
know,
mean, if you really think about it, though,
I mean,
it
you
was
always have the
kind of in
competitive
its
community there,
DNA.
but yeah, yeah, you're right.
Before Halo became competitive,
Yeah,
that was kind of in its DNA in the very, very, very beginning of Halo. It was a
true.
game not to really be taken serious. If you really look back and you want to like really get down to the core of it, it was like four players sit on your couch with your friends and yell at them for looking at your screen because y'all was all playing on the same TV. And it was just kind of a loose kind of a thing until I say it really didn't get competitive until maybe like Halo 2. And then people went back and started playing one competitively. But like when 2 came in, it took a little shift and it got a little more, I don't want to say serious, but it got a little different the way that you play it, and people
Sure.
started learning. Like there was also like a meta with the weapons too, because like people didn't even know about the pistol, but then they went back and they was like, "Yo, the pistol on part one is broken. Like these things couldn't be fixed. Like you could one shot or two shot somebody in the head with a pistol on part one." But people didn't really start finding that out until like later on in the
Later in
game.
the game, yeah.
So people started finding these weird little metas and little tricks and little tips and stuff like that. And then it became what it was. Like Halo will always have a important part in the history of
I
first
agree with
person
that,
shooters.
man. I
But for them, this year, this is a make or break year for not only Halo, but we spoke about it before. It's also a make or break year for Microsoft Xbox.
This is the one, man. If you don't, there's no room for them to not release good games this year because there's so many that are coming out. And you know that I actually have a prediction for something later on I'm gonna talk about, but I'm gonna take it to the other side of the fence here. This one is gonna be a Sony prediction. I really wanted to try to figure out what, because you know we've talked about how good Sony is at filling their calendar out throughout the year, and honestly, outside of Spider-Man, we don't really have a big first party release for them on the schedule. So you
Mm-hmm.
know, I have a Last of Us prediction. I predict we're gonna get a Last of Us multiplayer showcase because Naughty Dog said they were working on a Last of Us multiplayer game last year. They just recently dropped some artwork and a quick little blog about it. Hey, we're gonna show some more soon. So I could see a Last of Us multiplayer dropping in the summertime, maybe after E3, July or something. You know, we are getting the Last of Us TV show, which starts, I think, this week, if I'm not mistaken, the 15th of January. Yeah, it'll be on HBO Max. So I think they're gonna be all in on that. But my biggest one is we're gonna get Last of Us 2 for PC this fall. You know, it's right about that timeline for when they take their first party games and put them on PC, 2 to 3 years. I think we're gonna get Last of Us 2 on PC. We just got Last of Us 1 last year. Maybe like a little remaster action. We'll see. That's what I think though. You know, I think Sony's gonna have a pretty interesting year in general. But yeah, I think Last of Us 2 is gonna come around on PC this year in the fall to accompany Spider-Man. Maybe like an early.
But we need to write some of these predictions. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
re-reference
Oh, we're
this
definitely
episode.
gonna come back for this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think that's a spot on. I think that sounds about right. I think that because I mean honestly, that's one franchise they love to milk the hell out of. So I can see,
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see it happening. Like honestly, they man, like we
I
got
mean it.
remakes to a remake to a remaster for God's sake.
Right.
So only imagine what they're gonna do with part two. So
I mean, yeah, and it's you know, I think the show's gonna either people are really gonna either love it or I think they're gonna hate it.
I'm scared.
It's a polarizing. I mean, we're definitely gonna talk
Some
about
of the
it.
comments that they've been saying about
Hmm.
like some of the directors and some of the make it sexy comments, like what? What are you talking
You know what?
about?
The one
Like,
thing I hate, I just got to get sidetracked here. The one thing I hate when directors or people who aren't gamers are familiar with the particular subjects, they take it and they just say weird stuff. Like the comments that they were
wait,
making
what?
about like characters dying and you not feeling the impact in games and stuff. It's like, and that's not me like trying to be gatekeepy or anything. It's just you could tell people who don't play the games or who's never experienced those
No,
impactful moments. You know what I
it's not
mean?
about
Like
being gay. It's not about being gatekeeper.
I
It's
feel like I
like
just feel like their comments aren't always genuine, and I'm going in with zero expectations when it comes to Last of Us TV show. I'm just be honest. I'm zero expectations on it. I've read some stuff that I kind of don't like, but whatever.
mhm.
You know, I'm really trying not to be cynical this year when it comes to video game stuff. I'll watch Sonic sometime this year, and I'll tell you guys what I think about it because I've been refusing to. But yeah, that's my
Oh, we got
prediction.
to hear.
Yeah, not to get sidetracked.
No, but I
Yeah.
want to go back to like I don't think it's gatekeepy to ask the person who's making a movie to reference the freaking source material. Like,
Yeah, that's
dog,
what I meant. Yeah, like
just look up the source material. That's it. The Last of Us has a pretty decent story, part one and two. People will debate two all day, but I think two was great. Like people,
yeah,
they're mad at certain things that happened in two,
I
but
love
I
Last of Us too,
mean,
man. And I'm gonna be honest, man. That game made me stop playing video games for like 4 days. I had to take an emotional break. Like that game was
it's
I.
tiring. We spoke about this a
Hmm.
billion times on this show. Last of Us Two is one of the most emotionally draining
It is.
games ever. Just to see someone, you're playing through someone who goes through so much hell. And that's my only complaint about that game was I think the last act, I want to say it did kind of drag on a little
I
too
agree.
long for me.
Yeah, I
But that
agree.
was about it. Like I love the path that she chose at the end and how they show you like the outcome of you choosing certain paths and
it
You could
was
lose it.
realistic in my opinion in the way that grief and death really affects people differently, and not everyone makes the right choices when they're on a path of
especially
revenge. You know what I mean? Like,
especially in that setting. And
mm,
then it seemed like whatever path she took, the outcome was going to be the same. That's kind of what I got from it. Like sometimes you just can't win. Like you're going to lose something no matter what you do,
right.
and you just have to be like kind of strong enough to kind of. It just seems like Ellie was in a place at the end of like, you know what? She's seemed like if they come out with a part three, it's going to almost be to a point where she's like at this point of being
Oh,
heartless. Like
we're getting a part 3. There's no way.
big grown Ellie, bro.
Yeah,
Big LA.
there's no way we're not getting a part 3.
LL Cool J, it wasn't
Probably.
you.
I mean, honestly, if we're being honest, I don't think we get it this generation. We'll probably get it PlayStation 6. I don't see that
Hmm.
coming out anytime soon. I mean, it's
Well,
you think about just how much time it takes for these games to get made nowadays. Like, we're not seeing that anytime soon. Especially with them working on this multiplayer game that they're probably gonna support over, a number of
oh, that's
years.
still
Invest into that. So, yeah, I
that's
doubt
still lingering in the wind. I forgot about that.
we'll get a Last of Us TV show season 2 before we get Last of Us 3. I think that's how long it's
Hmm.
gonna take.
It makes sense because they'll use that to kind of like give them time. It's like a buffer to keep you entertained with
Hmm.
the series
Yeah, because
while they get
it's
prepared
just
for
like
part
what you
three.
said, right? Like, it's such an important series to Sony,
Mhm.
and with them really starting to expand these different offerings, that start to really build out TV shows and do all the animated stuff that they've been doing. They're really expanding into other avenues. So yeah, I agree with you there. Like, they're probably just gonna let it breathe for a while. Like I said, that Last of Us 2 on PC gonna keep people satiated for a couple years, and then
Mhm.
we'll get a Last of Us 3 trailer probably like 2025 or something. With a 2026 release date. Who knows? But
With Big LA. We ain't talking about you, LL Cool J. We talking about
right.
the real Big LA.
All right, man. All right, all right. What's your next one? Let's get it. Let's get back into it. I love these so far. Definitely some different perspectives here.
Hey, yo, Xbox, I'm on your head top. We got
Ooh.
another one for Xbox. Look, me being an Xbot ambassador slash co-captain of the Xbot. I forgot I had actually created a cool name for us, but now I forgot it. See, this is why you write stuff down. But anyway, this one is gonna be an Xbox Game Pass prediction.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
So with Xbox and Microsoft's bread and butter solely being perched upon the Game Pass,
Mm-hmm.
and with them steadily increasing these prices, I believe we're going to see another price increase. Um,
I agree with that. Oh, I agree with that 100%.
I believe we're going to see another price increase, and also, I think we're going to get a buff to the Game Pass. And what I mean by that, there's going to be some other source of entertainment outside of video games that's going to be included in the Xbox Game Pass, whether that be a streaming service on par with Hulu or Netflix, or you may get like Xbox Game Pass, Music Pass, or Live Event Pass, or it's going to be something to kind of sweeten the pot here a little bit because Xbox numbers for the Game Pass,
Mm-hmm.
they've been pretty good for the most part, but now you have a lot of people questioning because of Xbox, first party games, which is good because their first party games come out on the Game Pass, but we're not getting anything right now. So it's going to be a lot of Xbox Game Pass buffing this year, include like Redfall, all the games that's going to drop. Hopefully they are because it's almost like you're not talking about console sellers, right? Like when you talk about PlayStation, right? You say, "Oh, well, God
Mm-hmm.
of War is a console seller, right?" Now with Xbox, it's going to be, is this a Game Pass seller? You know what I'm saying? What's going to make me get a Game Pass? So these games got to become Game Pass sellers when they drop. They got to be hot. They got to make people want to get. not only in Series X, or I mean, you on PC, whatever. You at the, essentially you're going to need to get a Game Pass, and I think this year we're going to see, like I said, they're going to sweeten the pot. They're going to definitely. I've been saying this for a while, and I believe it's going to happen this year. It's going to be like some kind of movies or something thrown into the Game Pass to kind of make people say, okay, well, I play games here and there, but I do watch a lot of movies. Ooh, they got The Office on Game Pass. Oh, blah 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 blah. Even though I know that's over there with what's that, Paramount?
Yeah, Paramount, and I think it's Peacock or something.
Peacock,
It's
Peacock.
Peacock.
I
Yeah.
believe it's on Peacock. But yeah, they're gonna find some shows, and I believe that too. They may find some old shows that necessarily may not have a home. They might find some classics or some stuff that's recently came out within a recent couple of years that may not have a streaming home um, place to rest their head. So they'd be like, yo, what's a hot show? I don't know. I don't really watch TV, but they just grab that show and put it on Xbox Game Pass. It is like, oh, I love that show. Blah blah blah. Oh, it's on Game Pass.
Here's
Oh,
okay. I like a lot. I like that idea a lot, and I agree with it. I think we are going to see an increase to Game Pass and Ultimate this year. I agree with you 100%. The only thing, and that's such a great prediction because it's going to affect, in my opinion, it's going to affect a lot of where the market really goes. I mean, because I've said it here on the podcast. Hey, I'm gonna keep a good bit of these game subscription services because I think they're worth the money, based off of the value and just how many games are gonna be dropping, and you have the price increase of games going to $70 per
oh,
game.
yes,
So
yes.
I think a lot of services like Game Pass, like EA Play, like the PlayStation Plus services, the 3-tier service, are going to have like immense value. I mean, outside of the fact that Sony doesn't put their first party games on their service, but I think that's really where you're going to really start to see the value of Game Pass because I do fully expect us to start get a steady trickle of AAA titles that will, just like you said, be system and service movers for Game Pass. The only
Mm-hmm.
thing I don't want, just to be completely honest, I don't want like TV shows or anything like that on Game Pass. I would rather see them continue to partner with services already established, like Paramount, like Netflix,
Oh,
like
get like a
Hulu.
trial, or get like.
Yeah, because I mean, and the reason why I say that is just because they're already leading the market, in my opinion, in the game streaming service.
Mm-hmm.
In that they don't need, I don't think they need to mix the two, because I don't think it'll be that big of a return on investment. I mean, Xbox has already tried the TV stuff before. We've seen how well that went with Xbox One when it launched, but at least I hope they don't do that. Or if they do that, maybe put like game specific shows on Game Pass, like
Yeah, I was
like the
thinking that
Halo
too.
TV show. As much as we love or hate it.
Yeah, I
Um,
had that in my notes too. Forgot to mention that because I was thinking
yeah,
like maybe it could be a hub for like where they produce various game shows.
or documentaries. They could do the behind the scenes stuff. You
But they're
know,
gonna like that would be dope too. Like a lot of industry behind the scenes stuff
yeah.
would actually be
I would be
pretty cool.
honestly, as a viewer and a consumer, I'm more interested in that kind of stuff. I love watching behind the scenes. And I just think there's enough. There's already too many TV streaming services to the point where I just really don't see another one trying to compete. Like I don't think Microsoft would be wise to do that. Try to compete with Netflix
You may be
and
on to
Disney
something.
Plus, and why not just partner with these studios and just say, hey, if we get you guys a certain number of new signups, and that could come into play with Disney Plus because what if Marvel, they've been spreading the butter with the properties. A lot of different studios are making Marvel games right now. What if Microsoft locks down a contract with Disney Plus and be like, hey, if you guys get this tie-in game with this show we're developing, a certain number of signups, market it. You know, I could really see that's kind of where stuff is gonna go. If I had a prediction, where that would be more
Uh,
normal.
I like I like your idea
You
with
know,
I think they could have a lot of because a lot of what do people want to see from games that are coming out? They want these roadmaps,
hmm
these blueprints
everybody
of
wants to know. Marvel did it best. They really perfected keeping your audience engaged and invested even when you're not releasing anything.
So Wolf
You know?
games like Redfall,
Yeah.
all these games that has these high anticipation rates, like if they had shows on Game Pass, like, oh,
Yeah.
day in the life in the studio, or this is what we doing, or like I think little events like that, or like even Xbox showcases and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
if you just put stuff on there, you know, but it's going to be something this year. If not that, it's going
Yeah.
to be because they really going to have to like I said, until the games start, till we get to a point where they have a steady flow of games that people want to play.
Right.
To keep Xbox where it is and the numbers up, they're gonna have to start, giving more and kind of,
I agree.
justifying a price hike. So it's
I
gonna be
agree.
interesting to see, but I guarantee you it's gonna happen this year. You're gonna see some moving and shaking in the
They'll
Game
probably
Pass.
announce it around E3. Because E3 is coming back this year, and that's when you'll have the most eyes.
Yeah, or have shows like
And
that, like
this is
yo,
how
E3.
smart Papa Phil is. He could just announce it. People are gonna be mad for like a day, but all the game
Mm-hmm.
announcements are gonna it's gonna bury the news. That's what I would do. Think like a CEO, guys.
A shifty CEO.
We're gonna get
A
Papa Phil on the
CD.
show one day.
Yeah, that's Papa Phil.
He's our white
Yeah.
whale right now. So, all right.
What's your prediction, man? Jesus.
All right, man. So I'm gonna actually show Nintendo some love, man. We don't talk a lot about Nintendo on the podcast. We've heard,
Well, I
we've
like this one
received
already.
we've received valid criticism from the community that we don't show Nintendo enough love. So I'm making that my personal mission this year. There's actually some games coming out for the Switch this year that I'm actually very, very excited to play. So,
Like
anywho,
it. Like it.
so I think we're gonna get, we've talked about Nintendo and their Switch problem at this point. When it comes to a power standpoint compared to the new gen consoles, it's kind of been a hot button topic lately, especially with Pokemon's latest release. A lot of people weren't happy and they're like, we wanted a Switch successor. So I think one of two things is gonna happen. Well, I think we're gonna get the announcement of whatever it is. I think it's gonna be like a Switch 2 or a Switch Pro, something that does 1080p undocked, maybe 4K 30 or 4K 60 on your TV. I think we'll get something along those lines. Something probably comparable to the Steam Deck, because that's a big thing now. The Steam Deck's out there, and a lot of people love it. So I think we'll get a Switch successor announcement. It will either launch with Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom in May, or
That would be on point.
or or we won't see it until 2024. I think they'll pair it up with Metroid Prime 4. A lot of people think Metroid Prime 4 is going to come out this year. I don't think so because we literally haven't seen anything and the game development got restarted. But, a lot of people forgetting about Zelda coming out this year, and that's a big one too, man. That's a game games get out of the way for. So I think Zelda is going to be a huge, huge system
Yeah,
seller.
it's
So,
definitely one of those. It's one of those.
I
Zelda's big in community.
personally, I thought Breath of the Wild was boring, but people are excited for it. You got to acknowledge it. So I think Nintendo's gonna have I think they're gonna lean on that pretty much all year because there's really nothing else as far as I know that's coming out for them that's huge. But that's a prediction. My Nintendo, like I said, gotta show Nintendo
I'm
some
on
love.
Nintendo. Since we on Nintendo, let's park the car here for a
Gotta
minute.
gotta show them some love, man. Gotta show them some
Let's
love.
let's park the car here for a minute, my brother. Look, man. To all you people who keep telling me it's not about graphics, all right? Man, listen, y'all deserve better.
The game
right?
has to be playable though. It has
That's
to
what
be
I'm saying. It
playable.
has to be functional. And when I saw someone like totally redo that Pokemon game, I never ever looked at that Pokemon game again. That Pokemon game, I will say it with my chest. You guys could come for me. I will give you my Twitter _1LDC_. Come for me. Y'all got to stop defending that game. That game looks like garbage. Now I know you Pokemon fan. Now the core of it, the gameplay and all that is cool.
Yeah.
Dig. It's cool. It's great. Whatever. But we got to stop fronting. Like you should not be playing a game that look like it was on Nintendo Wii. Or no, I go even further. It looks like Nintendo 64. The graphics really are that choppy and bad to me. But I'm just saying, y'all deserve better. Like, don't just blindly defend things. Like, you have to get in these people's behind so they can do better. That's the point. I'm not saying, you know, argue just to argue, but that's a valid point. Like the way I've watched a lot of that gameplay, I've played it myself. I wasn't.
It's
I
unfortunate, man, and you know there are some
can't give you
great
a pass for
emulators
that,
out
man.
there for it. I'm not hating, you know, Nintendo don't come for our neck. You know, we're not, you know, telling people to go out and emulate the game. If you purchase, I would purchase the game before you do anything with it. That's all I'm gonna say.
So the fans are gonna. Well, they
Uh,
purchased the hell out of the game. It
yeah,
made what, a quadrillion
it
dollars.
was the number one selling Pokemon game so far, like in the entire franchise, which is
And honestly, that's why they deserve better, man. That's
hey.
why they deserve better because y'all supporting this game,
You want to know
and it.
a interesting fact too? I learned about Pokemon when we were originally doing the story. You know, Pokemon they make majority of their money from merchandise. So the cards, the plushies, you know, the statues, anything like that, they make I think close to 70% of their revenue on that. While the game gets a little bit of, you know, broken up in that 30. And you know,
Mm,
honestly, I could
no, I
see
wonder why the game is dirty.
that's probably why they don't pay so much attention to it, and it sucks, man. I mean, like I said, I hope we get a new Nintendo Switch successor. I know the Switch has been selling great. I mean, but it's 6 years, going on 6 years, because I think it came out in 2017, if I remember correctly. But yeah, the hardware is like, you know, it's about 6 years old, man. And just like DC said, I would love to see Nintendo really coming out swinging this year. A lot of people don't realize just how, you know, how big the community for Nintendo and their games are, and just, you know, like I said, Zelda's gonna be one of the best selling games of the year, like
I kind of
just
like that
period, with
I
everything
kind of
else still
like they
coming
don't.
out, you know.
I kind of like that they don't focus online either. I mean, I would like to see a more robust online experience,
Hmm.
but I kind of respect the fact that Nintendo, you know, they kind of have like a solid string of single player games that are amazing. So
That's true.
all I want,
They know their
all
stuff.
I just better, just functionality. Um, like I said, they don't have to be the super most top tier, great,
Yeah,
amazing graphics, but a little bump in graphics just make things look little more presentable. Because, like I said, I really got upset because I was looking at I was watching someone play Bayonetta, and I was just like, why does this look like this? I was like,
oh
what?
guys,
What?
he was very upset, rightfully so.
Yeah, I
That game
love
looks
Bayonetta.
terrible on
Bruh, Bayonetta, oh my god. It like I was like, yo, so just to make sure I wasn't tripping, I turned on I turned on Bayonetta 1. I have on my old Xbox. I turned it on and I'm looking and I'm like, see, this shouldn't be like this. This game should be running way better
yeah,
now.
yeah. Bayonetta
Bayonetta
3 breaks
3,
my heart, man, that they only released it on Switch. That breaks
and
my heart.
also
Yeah.
Bayonetta, y'all need to get whoever that new protagonist Devil May Cry looking chick is that y'all trying to push on us. We don't want that shit. I'm just gonna say it. We don't want her. Keep Bayonetta as number one. We don't want her little protagonist. She's weird. She's cringy. Her lines, the dialogue is just horrible. I don't like it. Okay, I'm going on a rant. Let's reel it back
Prediction
in.
episodes get spicy.
Yeah, I don't like her. But anyway,
That's okay, man. You're entitled to
love
your opinion,
Bayonetta.
man.
Love Bayonetta 3. Don't get me wrong. I love the game, but she's up there with ASAP Rocky with that monologue. Anyway,
Wow.
I guess it's my turn.
Yeah, that's
I can't wait to tell you that off screen.
that's
But it's
funny.
my turn.
Yes, sir.
So,
Your prediction is next. What you got? What you got?
okay. So, I had another one in the tuck, but Xbox, you getting too much from me. So, I'm going to move that one out of the way. There's another Xbox one. And then I think we already talked about that. So, I don't want to rehash that.
Sure.
Um, I want to talk about it though.
Hey, man, talk about it. If
Okay.
we, it's yeah, it's fine if it's
I'm
on your list.
just Starfield.
Ooh, yes. Let's get into the Starfield predictions. I had one too. We can bundle it together. I have one too.
Starfield. Where do I begin? I've discussed this a million times on Twitter and everything. That's why you should follow me. Shameless plug underscore 1LDC underscore Twitter. But I don't think this game is gonna be. I don't feel it, bro. It's not. It's not
You're
gonna
not
be
a
what the people.
believer. You're not a
I am
believer.
not a believer at all. And I was gonna skip over this prediction. I just wrote it down. But something in my heart of all hearts and the man above Jesus.
I mean,
He left.
listen. I mean, like I said, I had one too, man, and I
And it's because
you can't not talk about this game. This game, I think we're both in agreement that this will set the tone for what we can expect from Microsoft's first party studios. And so my prediction, like I said, we could just roll it together. So I predict that the release of this game was going to come either late June or early July, based off
mm-hmm,
of a rumor with Redfall not coming out till May, and I don't think they're going to release these games on top of each other. Maybe they will, who knows? But
that'll be scary.
there's been Bethesda been puffing their chest out this year, saying the game's still coming out this year, and I think we're gonna get a July release date for it, and I think it's going to be one of the most polarizing Bethesda games ever released. Either people are gonna really like it, or they're gonna, just like you said, they're just not gonna mess with it at all. And
I think
I'm gonna try to be optimistic about it because like I said, I don't really have experience with Bethesda games, so I think we'll both get a good gauge of what this game really is between your experience with them and my lack of it. So I'm definitely excited to still talk about the game when it comes out because it's gonna be a big conversation.
they're gonna have to do a Sonic, man. You remember when Sonic had them chiclet teeth and they had to like redo the whole thing? I think they're gonna have to redo everything that we saw of the game. I really do hope they scrapped all of that shit. Like
Chiclet teeth.
like
I'm sorry. I'm back. I'm sorry.
no, but everything we saw during that display, if they didn't get rid of that, it's gonna be hell to pay. Like they need to scrap all of that. Hopefully, because they didn't show anything groundbreaking.
Sure.
And if they have another display, like with all this, see, my thing is this. This is my prediction. They're going to drop that game, and it's going to be another fixer-upper.
Do you
It's
think
going
the
to
mod
be.
community is going to be the ultimate savior?
Wait, but that's the games. That's usually the case. Usually, modders come in and I don't like that. Like, I love the fact that modders are so talented and they can do these great and cool things. But sometimes I feel like, you know, games use that as a crutch. Like, okay, well, we'll just
I
let
can
them fix
respect
it.
that perspective. Like you're expecting a certain level of quality.
Yeah, and if you have to take your
Yeah.
time, see, because there's a double-edged sword with that, right?
Hmm.
Like we bitch and complain about these things, but then, oh, why is it taking so long to come out? Oh, we need our games, we need them now, blah 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 blah. But then when they rush something out and it's half-assed, then we get mad. So we gotta be more considerate and realistic in this approach. Like, I don't mind if they have to push it back.
Sure.
Like, if you have to push it back, I don't want you to deal with crunch. Take your time. Do God of War is like my prime example. God of War drops whenever the hell it wants to. Like, it don't listen to the noise. God of War is like, yo, that's one game that when it come out is going to be fully baked. It's going to be cooked. It's going to be ready to consume, right? There's a few other games like that. Like,
Sure.
when they drop, they're going to be ready. You're not going to deal with too much um not hacks. I was going to say hacks. You're just dealing with too much
Just
technical
bugs and tech
difficulty. Yeah,
issues
yeah,
and
yeah.
sure,
Yeah,
sure, sure.
so Starfield, like, man, hell, I'll even throw that into the prediction. Hell, they might push it back. It may get pushed back, and I'm okay with that.
Push to the fall, perhaps. I mean, because
Yeah, it's
allegedly,
gonna move around. It's gonna move around a little bit, definitely.
yeah, I mean, we allegedly don't have a Call of Duty coming out this year, so
Ooh, that spot is open.
there is a big spot. There's a big hole in the calendar there. I mean, I'm sure Call of Duty will do some sort of year two, yay, pack. Buy this for $60. They're gonna trick people into spending another 70 this year on Call of Duty, but
It's gonna be something.
you could definitely fill that gap there. I'm still hopeful that we do get Hellblade 2 this year. I really hope that's like their fall game. And if
That
we,
was in my predictions too.
yeah, and if we can be completely honest, I feel like Hellblade, I think Ninja Theory is gonna be their Naughty Dog. I'm hoping that's what the quality of that game is, where because
Same.
Microsoft needs a high tier studio to really push out. I mean, you can't even really say AAA anymore. They're really like leaning into quadruple A is the terms they use now. But your Sony Santa Monica, you can even throw Insomniac in there too with Naughty Dog. Like they just have so many high quality
Mm-hmm. It's a big
studios,
bar, man.
and
It's a
they
big bar.
they set the bar with their games, and I think we're gonna have more hits than misses with Microsoft this year. That's not a prediction. That's just a feeling. But I do have one. I have another prediction. I do. We can stick to Xbox for now because, like I said, there is a lot to talk about with them just in general. But I feel like we're gonna get a huge E3 showcase with them this year. I think we're gonna get another Fable trailer. Finally, like a gameplay trailer. We haven't seen Fable in like 3 or 4 years.
That
And
might be the sleeper cell.
and I think they'll tag a 2024 release year window on it, not like a date. They love to do that. 20 coming out 2025 or I think we'll get something like that for Fable. I hope so. I miss Fable. Fable was definitely one of my favorite Xbox series.
Man, that might be the sleeper
Um,
cells. Fable might come out and knock that thing
we
out of
haven't
the
seen
park.
anything from it in a while. I mean, besides that teaser trailer, like we might get like maybe a partial gameplay. This is alpha test at the very small words at the bottom of the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would love to see Fable this year, so that's why I put it on my prediction list.
Hmm.
Come
Good.
on,
Good.
Xbox,
Good.
don't let me down, man. What you got, man? What's the next on your old list
Well, I
over
want to
there?
throw. I want to throw a little. Now that spoken into existence and it's down there on my list. I got notes all over the place. I got notes over here. You should see my wall. It's just like covered in notes. Then I got my laptop right here.
Like you're
I got
like
all
you're
kinds of.
like you're
It's like a
busting a
battle station.
conspiracy theory. Yeah, I got
Yeah,
you.
it's like the strings going from one person to the other one.
Yeah,
Like, so I'm looking over here. I'm all over
uh,
the place. But
I love it.
I like confusion. I'm weird like that. Like I like things kind of messy.
Never let them know your next
Like I
move,
don't like a
man.
clean desk. Like all that clean and cord management. I don't do all that shit. We like it wild over here. We like it to look a little crazy. But it's funny you said Call of Duty because I do have that on the list, and I think
Okay.
that'd be entertaining to talk about. So let's do it. Call of Duty is on my prediction list for this year.
Okay.
I think, and you kind of hit the nail on the head. You kind of stole my thunder, but that's cool. It happens. We know each other. We kind of synergy, right? But I think they're gonna since it this year they're not coming out with anything.
Allegedly.
I do well a new game. Let's say
Yeah.
that a new game, but they're gonna come out with some kind of insane like cracked map pack slash Warzone 2.5.
Yeah. It's gonna be enough stuff to fill a brand new
It's
game.
gonna
Yeah.
be it's gonna be whole new Warzone map. You're under the map. You're in a cave. Blah blah blah
You get
blah.
a shiny knife and some cool camos.
But
Here's
no no no
eight
no.
maps.
Before you do that, fix your core game. I mean, damn it,
Nah,
I
we're
don't
just
want
gonna charge you $70. Buy this now, or you're gonna be behind all your friends.
200 gigs. Oh, here's 200 gigs of slap happy action. Here you go.
And it's still
Yeah,
gonna be in the top 10 list of this
is
year.
this even a prediction though? We all know that.
I was
We
about to
know that
say.
this is going to happen, right?
Yeah, that's
We
a
all know
that's a
that.
nail on the head type
Audience,
situation.
audience. Yeah, we know. We know, audience. We know. The Call of Duty. Look, the Call of Duty franchise is the
Yeah.
master milkers of fun.
I mean,
all right?
we can't really blame just them, man. I mean, the community buys it. It goes
Hey,
both
man,
ways.
at
It's
the
a
end of the
bad.
day,
It's a toxic relationship with the gaming community.
very toxic relationship. We buy it. Well, I don't.
Now, the last one I
Okay,
purchased was
I
Cold War
don't.
personally, but
Only reason I play Warzone because it's free. But no, my family and friends keep trying to get me to buy the game to
oh man, just
play.
play with your friends, man. Go ahead.
I would rather spend my time playing Need for Speed
COD,
and
COD is
Apex.
COD is inevitable at this point. It is.
Hey, I respect it. Yo, shout out to them, but that's definitely on a predictions list.
I like it.
I don't even want to put that as a prediction. We know we're gonna get some
Year
craziness.
2 map pack,
Hmm.
$70,
Yep,
and
there you go.
you get 25 levels on your 100 tier battle pass.
Couldn't have said it better
Just
myself,
hire
my
me,
friend.
Activision. Just hire me.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I'm gonna toss the mic on over to you. Give us another one, man.
Just
I'm
hire me. Okay, so this one is a two.
Drewski.
This is a two part. This is a two-part prediction, man. And so this one is, I think, it's gonna be pretty interesting. So I think the Activision Blizzard Microsoft Activision acquisition, ooh, tongue tied there, goes through.
Mm.
I think it goes through after April. I think that's when the European Union is going to be done with their inquiry. I think the FTC is going to lose in court. And they're going to be embarrassed by Microsoft yet again. But my second part to that is I think we see Sony acquire Square Enix this year. It just kind of makes sense. I mean, let's just be completely honest. There's really no relationship with Microsoft and Square Enix for whatever reason. They just don't jive with
Hmm.
Papa Phil, man. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's his jackets, his haircut. I don't know. They just don't like putting their games on on Xbox.
So
I
you say
mean,
he ain't got the Jeff Keighley
yeah,
shoe cut, bro?
and I think this year is honestly going to be a really big year for Square Enix. I mean, you got Final Fantasy 16 coming out in June, and then you have Final Fantasy 7 Part 2, still supposed to come out this winter, so probably like a December release date for that. Final Fantasy 14 continues to be, 1A to 1B with World of Warcraft in terms of popularity right now. I mean, so much so that they had to stop selling digital copies of the game. Like they literally, there was too many people trying to play the game. And it just kind of, like I said, it just kind of makes sense, man. I really think that would be a really good get for Square Enix. I just looked up the market cap too a few minutes ago for Square Enix right now. It's a little over 5 billion, so I can see that in Sony's range. I mean, they paid like 3 something for Bungie last year, so
But it makes perfect sense though, if
hmm
you really think about it, right?
yeah, they and Sony's very smart with their acquisitions. Like I said, they've
Mhm.
had such a great relationship with Square for the longest time, for a number of years. I mean, Final Fantasy alone is just a huge franchise, and I think with Microsoft locking down the American RPGs, you're going to start to see Sony try to clamp down on JRPGs. I mean, they never truly will because of Nintendo, but they're the big budget AAA. I think JRPGs are probably going to be sticking to the PlayStation. That's just my prediction.
Hmm.
And I would like to
And
see them.
that's
I
an awesome
mean,
prediction.
I would
Like I
like to see
said,
them swing back. I mean, like I said, they've tried to stop the Microsoft acquisition. It's going to happen. Sony's probably been in talks with Square Enix. I mean, I think we talked about some rumors last year, at some point too, where there's smoke, there's fire, in my opinion. So, I mean, we might see that acquisition. I would like to see it
hmm,
personally.
it makes sense. Like I said, it makes all the sense. People have been chiming the same sentiment across the internet. Everyone feels like, this should have been happened
Hmm.
due to their relationship, their long-standing relationship, the games um, that Square Enix puts on the PlayStation. It only makes sense. And I think this year would be the year to do it to strengthen the mighty Sony PlayStation.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, and it would toss. Like I said, Final Fantasy 14 online is such a huge game. Sony's all in on like live service stuff right now. Xbox has their MMO, their Elder Scrolls Online, so maybe they could just, like I said, because like Final Fantasy 14 Online is not on Xbox. Like you can't, which is weird
yeah,
because like there's Final Fantasy, I think 10 and 10 2, like the HD
yeah.
remakes
All
of those
that
is
it's like weird stuff is on Game
it's
Pass.
on Game Pass. Like,
Hmm.
why y'all teasing us? Just let's just go ahead and get it done. So that's prediction.
That's a very good prediction. I like that one. We've discussed this before too. I think, yeah, they need to go ahead and pull the trigger on that, man. Or maybe, those are big money guys. They crunching numbers, and maybe they don't have quite what they need or want to spend just yet on it.
Yeah.
Maybe they're waiting to see a little more,
Honestly, I think they're
revenue.
waiting. They're waiting until after the Microsoft situation is done, because
Until
like I said, the FTC, they don't like tech companies for whatever reason. The Biden administration has not been they've been very vocal about their criticisms
Excuse me.
with big tech companies. So maybe Sony's just waiting to see.
Mm.
Because I believe, if I remember correctly, the Bungie acquisition got investigated. If I remember correctly. So that's just my theory. Wait and see what the FTC does and how this whole situation with Microsoft shakes out.
Man, it's always fun talking about prediction
Mm-hmm.
because this year, I
This year
mean,
is
we
going
can
to
go
be
on and on.
monumental. Like,
People don't understand, man. People don't understand.
not even
This is
just
gonna
from
be
a
crazy.
game release point. Just, I think this year is a lot of people are going to look back on like 2007, 2011 year when it comes to game releases. But in terms of like just the business side of the industry, it's crazy right now. So very exciting to see, man. Running a little low on time, man. You got another prediction for us?
This one is a prediction slash dedication
Ooh.
slash as far and this is a super weapon prediction.
Oh.
Just want to throw that out there. On our quest to forever become better at what we do and grow our audience, I am going to predict more amazing guests.
Oh, I love it.
And we are going to dedicate, and I'm going to dedicate, I know with the climate that we're in, ladies, it's hard to trust. I get it. Really hard to be in a space where you don't feel safe. This industry is a little wild when it comes to things going on behind the scenes, but we are dedicated to creating a safe space here to where people can voice their love of video games, and that is it. That's what we're about here. So with that being said, I want to have more ladies on the show who love video games just as much as we do. Because people talk to me about that all the time, and I have to explain to them, like, it's not without trying. But you got to understand that if you don't have a rapport with someone, you can go up to people and ask and give them your sales pitch and give them the numbers, let them crunch the numbers and all that. But to make someone feel comfortable enough to come here and chop it up with you, it takes time and it takes
operate in good faith, man.
Yes. So when we do what we do here, there's no underlying motive. I'm not trying to secretly date you or none of that crazy stuff. We just want to talk about how you got to where you are in this space. We want to have fun talking about video games. So my prediction is we're going to have more amazing guests. We're going to have more ladies on the show. There's a lot of amazing lady content creators out there that I would love to sit down
yes, indeed.
and speak with. So, I'm going to diligently bust my ass this year. I got that on my wall of madness over here. I got that on my wall of madness. And we just want to create a different type of narrative here. We want to definitely.
We're going to have fun, man. It's going to be a good year.
It's going to be
like I said, man, just operate in good faith, man, and support, please. We appreciate you guys hanging out and supporting us as always. And everything, man. I'm very excited for this year. We got some cool things on the horizon. Some cool announcements will be shaking out over the next couple of weeks and months and yada, yada, yada. But yeah, I love that prediction, man. I think that's a good one to wrap it up on. Caller a day. Yeah. I enjoy doing these. We definitely got to make sure we look back. Maybe if we do like a game of the year episode, maybe we'll do like a round table or something and then look back on predictions that we made and see how close or just how wildly far we were. But honestly, man, like I said, with this year, man, I don't think it's going to be I don't think we swung too huge today. Some crazy things are going to happen. I'm excited for this year.
We're always going to get the unexpected too. It's going to be something to hit us from left field.
Because like I said, we don't know anything about the back half of the year, and that usually changes around E3. So, very, very excited for this year, man. But as always, man, make sure you guys are following all of our socials, Super Weapon Media, at Twitter. Make sure you guys join the Art Table Discord. All those socials and stuff are going to be in the description for this episode as well. It's on the YouTube. But I just
It's
wanted to
here.
say I appreciate you guys, man, and make sure you guys check me out everywhere. Darius the artist, where E is a 3, and I'm gonna let DC take us home.
Yes, 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 yes. Twitter is my home. Yes, and Super Weapon Twitter page is also a booming time in town. So we're gonna get all those socials out, and also that's another dedication and prediction that I want to put out there. I'm going to slowly transition. I'm going to spend less time on my personal page, which is underscore 1LDC underscore on Twitter. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna switch over to the Super Weapon page, and I'm gonna focus more on gaming content on that page. We're gonna do that. Then that's gonna roll over to the TikTok. And this
Just
year, starting
follow
now,
everything.
yes, this year now we will be uploading to YouTube. We will be uploading the episodes, small clips. What's the little things that they have?
Shorts.
Shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be doing shorts,
A
and
lot of
we
fun, exciting things coming your guys' way this year.
yes. So stay tuned, and especially we want you to definitely join our Discord. All this will be in our descriptions. So please read it, join us. Let's talk games. Let's have fun. And we got a lot of fun events coming up. And that's all I have.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out. We'll see you next week. Later. Bye bye.
The more I